Hi guys, welcome back. I am super excited for today's video. It's just a little fun sit down video because like I said, I'm only posting one reading vlog a month. So this month's reading vlog is already out if you guys want to go and watch. Super fun to film. And yeah, so if you guys are looking for a reading vlog, you guys can go watch my last video. But like I said, today's video is just going to be a little sit down video and I think it's going to be super fun. So we are going to do Would You Rather questions, but bookish edition. And I think this is going to be so fun, like I've said 3 times now. Anyway, so I got all of these Would You Rather questions mainly from Destiny's video. Now, in her video, she asked Instagram, but I don't have that many followers, if any, on my Instagram. So if you guys want to do that, go follow. It's in the description. But, so yeah, like I said, I don't have any followers or anything over there yet, so I wouldn't have been able to ask anybody. So I just pulled some of her Would You Rather questions and put them into this video. Now some of them are reworded because hers were based off of books that she read, and like some of them I couldn't have done, but I tried to do it to fit me as best as I could. And then other questions for this I just got off the internet because I wanted more than just the few questions that I had from hers, because like I said, hers were more book specific and a lot of the books that they were talking about I couldn't put in here. So yeah, I'm, like I said, really excited. So let's get into this, and I will also put them all in the description if you guys want to do this yourself. So the first Would You Rather question is, would you rather never read a physical book again or never read on your Kindle? And I'm going to say never read on my Kindle. And the reason for this is, even though I've been a Kindle girly lately, like I have read my books this month on my Kindle, and even though I've done that, I would say that I would never want to read on my Kindle again. And the reason for this is because there's just something about holding a physical copy of a book that I can't let go of. Like, just being able to hold the physical copy of the book is just amazing, and I love doing it. Now, yeah, some of the bigger books you wouldn't want to, and then at night you don't want to like have your light on and you just want to be able to read your Kindle. But like I said, I would much rather be able to hold the physical copy, because like there's just something about that just I love way more. But yeah, even though I am a Kindle girly. The next one is, would you rather have a wet book with damaged pages or pages falling out when you turn the page? And I am 100% saying I would rather have pages fall out when I turn the page, because you can just tuck them back into the book. A wet, damaged book is just disgusting. Like, no one is wanting to pick that book up after it's been wet. Like, that's just gross. Experienced a wet, damaged book firsthand. It's disgusting. I went camping and it was raining and our tent inside got wet, and my book was in my book bag and it went through my book bag and got all over the book. It was gross. I threw it away. That was the only book I brought with me too, so I couldn't read. So no, wet, damaged pages is just disgusting, and I would rather have my pages falling out. The next one is, would you rather have the main character die or the love interest die? Now, the only thing with this question is they kind of go hand in hand, because the main character kind of is the love interest. But I would say, honestly, I would rather have the main character die. And my reason being is because in some books, sometimes we get mainly the main character in the beginning. And then like once we get the love interest, we kind of have already had enough of the main character. Like we already know who you are. We already established all this background of you. Now we want the love interest. So that's kind of like how I feel in like my perspective of the question. So like I said, I would much rather have like a main character die than the love interest die, because most of the time we get more of the main character, and then by the time the love interest comes, we're like, okay, see you, we're gonna go focus on this. But like I said, they kind of go hand in hand, because the main character is the love interest at the same time, because it's the love interest of the love interest, if that makes any sense. The next one is, would you rather buy each book in a series separately as you read them or get the whole set straight away? Now, I am a person of habit that I get the series before I even like read the first book, even if it's not like the same day, or I'll go back out a couple weeks later to go get books and I'll be like, oh, let's get this, and it'll be part of a series that I haven't even started. And I'm really trying not to do that this year. I have not actually done that this year. I actually haven't even bought many books. I've only bought like Keeping 13, I think, and Ruthless Vows this month. I'm really proud of myself for that. And I've bought like the books on the Kindle, but I'm not gonna count that. But anyway, usually do that. I usually go and buy the series, but I want to start where I read the first book in the series and then I have something to look forward to when that book is over to go and get. Like I have the next book in the series to go and get, and that just is something to look forward to. So I would much rather read the series separately so that way you have something to look forward to. But if you asked me this question a few months ago, I probably wouldn't have said that, but we're saying it today. Okay. Would you rather only read one romance a month or only read one 5-star a month? And I'm gonna say read only one 5-star a month. And hear me out. This is my reasoning. So, to me, a 3.5 and above star is still good. Still means the book was enjoyable, or you would recommend it. And also, my other reasoning is I am mainly a romance girly. I have dipped my toes into fantasy a little bit, and I'm not really a thriller girl. Like, I will read books here and there, but I'm not like, I can't read them back to back because I will get bored. But with romance, no, not getting bored unless the book is really that bad. But I am solely a romance girly, and I really want to get into more fantasy because I know there's romance in them sometimes, majority of the time, whatever. But like I said, there's no way I could only read one romance a month because that's mainly what I read, and that would not be possible for me. So one 5-star a year, I mean, that's what we're gonna have to go with. The next one, would you rather only read romance for a month or thriller for a month? And like I said, I'm not really big on thrillers. I can read them like once a month, so I would definitely say read only romance for a month. I haven't read thrillers in a long time, so yeah, when I first started reading, I was like mainly reading romance, but I had some more thrillers like thrown in there. But like I said, mainly a romance girly, would definitely say read only romance for a month. I mean, the next one is, would you rather have a half cover or not have floppy pages? And I would definitely say I would rather have a half cover over not having floppy pages, because there's just something about a book with floppy pages that is just different. Nobody wants a stiff book. Like, nobody wants that. Everybody wants the floppy pages. If you don't know what a half cover is, I don't think I have a book like to explain it or show you, but I would much rather have a half cover than not have floppy pages, because we need those floppy pages. The next one is, would you rather read all the books on your physical TBR or only read new books and never read your physical TBR? So I would definitely say that I would rather read my physical TBR rather than buying new books that are not on my physical TBR, because there are books on my physical TBR that I really want to read, and I would much rather read those and never be able to read anything else. So yeah, I would definitely choose to read all the books on my physical TBR. The next one, would you rather read a really bad miscommunication trope or pregnancy trope? I would rather read something about a pregnancy trope. I hate miscommunication. Now sometimes it's hard for me to like say my feelings and like speak my feelings and stuff, but if I'm reading a book, I definitely am not for the miscommunication. Like, just please speak, because it is so frustrating to me to read a book and them not communicate, because then I'm like, well, when are you going to communicate? Because like I know information that they don't know, and it's eating me up inside because I'm like, okay, well, when are you gonna tell them? When are you gonna speak? Like, tell them how you feel. Please just speak. Just use your words and speak. Like, it's so frustrating when they don't. So, definitely would rather read a pregnancy trope. Okay. Would you rather have a really good first half of a book or a really good second half? And I'm going to say I would rather have a really good second half of the book, because the first half of the book can be but if the second half of the book is really good and like picks up, then it's gonna give the book a higher rating. Now if it was the other way around, it's gonna give a book a lower rating. And I just feel like if we have a good second half, the book is ending off on a good note. If we have a really good first half and a really bad second half, then I feel like I've wasted my time and this book is not that great because it didn't end good. So I always would rather the book end good and not start out that great, and it seems more enjoyable to me. Would you rather have your fave series be discontinued or have your fave author stop writing books? This is going to sound kind of surprising, but I think I'm going to say have my fave author stop writing books, because at least you have already read their books, like some of their books. And you can, even if you haven't, you can still go and buy those books. So I feel like if my favorite author was to stop writing, then I think I would be alright, because I either have already read their books or I could still read the books that they already have out, or like reread books, you know. But if my fave author, if my fave series was discontinued and the last book that is out at the moment leaves on a cliffhanger, I will never know how the book or how it ends. I would never know, and that would eat me up. That would bother me, and I don't think I could do that. Definitely rather my favorite authors stop writing books, because at least I already have some of their content. But if my fave series was discontinued and it ended on a cliffhanger, I will never know how that book ends, and I don't think I could do that. I will always be in wonder what could have happened. Maybe this could have happened, maybe that could have happened, and no, I don't want to do that. I want to know what happens. So I would definitely say favorite authors stop writing. Would you rather read for 24 hours or be in a book slump for 2 weeks? And I am definitely saying would rather read for 24 hours, because there's no way, like, I've been in book slumps for longer than 2 weeks, like where I haven't picked up a book and I hate it, and I definitely don't want that to happen now, especially since I have a YouTube channel. And to stay on track this year, I have to read 4 books a month, and I still am on track. But if I were to get in book slumps, I don't know what I would do, because I think I still have to produce content, and I still need to be reading for the content. So I would much rather read for 24 hours. Would you rather date Gus from Beach Read or Charlie from Book Lovers? Now, this one was hard because I love them equally, but I'm definitely gonna have to say I would rather date Gus from Beach Read, because that book and Gus in January was just amazing, and I loved that book, and I want to reread it. So this summer, I don't really like doing rereads, but this summer that is definitely the one that I will be rereading. Even if I never reread a book again, that's one of them that I want to reread, because I just love that book. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Charlie, but I'm gonna have to say Gus. Okay, would you rather only read series or only read standalones? This is a hard question, but I'm gonna say only read series, because most of the books I have are part of series. There's very few that are part of, well, not very few, but there are some that are just standalones, but majority of the books I own are part of series. And I just really, really enjoy reading series, because like once a book is over, I'm kind of like sad that we don't get more of them, because it's just a standalone. I absolutely love series because we get more of the characters, we get more time with them. So I would much rather only read series. Next one is, would you rather cast the characters for a movie adaptation of your favorite book or never get into reading slumps? And I'm gonna say never get into reading slumps because there are very, very few books that I read that are even movie adaptations or any adaptation, but I honestly don't know a lot of like actors, so it would be hard for me anyway to be like reading a book and be like, this actor will play this person perfectly. I just don't think about it like that, so I would definitely rather never get in a reading slump because I just don't think about that. So yeah. Would you rather meet your favorite author or your favorite character? And I'm definitely saying favorite character because in the real world, obviously we can't meet our favorite characters because they don't exist. So like if there was an off chance, like just some crazy thing happened and we were able to meet our favorite character, I would choose to do that because this is the real world. The authors actually exist in it, so we can probably meet them at any time, like whatever. But like we're never going to be able to meet our favorite characters. So if that ever came as an option, that would be it. So yeah. So the next one is, would you rather read during rainy weather or read in the sun? And I would 100% say read in the sun. I absolutely love reading, and most of the time it's on vacation or if I'm at the pool or something in my neighborhood. Like I absolutely love just reading in the warm weather. Like it's just better vibes to me. So okay, would you rather have a movie adaptation or a show adaptation? And I'm gonna say show adaptation. I'm not a big fan of movies. Like I can't stay focused on the movie for a long period of time like I can shows. It's weird, but that's just how I am. And if we have shows, we're getting so much more content of the characters in our books and stuff. So I would much rather have the show, and then like in the movie they're cutting a lot of things out because they have to shorten it, if that makes any sense. So I would rather have a show. Okay, would you rather be a rom-com character or a thriller character? And I would say rom-com. If I was a thriller character, I would not make it. That book would be like this short because I'd be dead in the first 2 sentences. Like I would not make it in the thriller world. But I would much rather be a rom-com character. I could definitely fit that part more than a thriller character. This one is so hard. Lily and Lo or Johnny and Shannon. And granted, I have only read the first 2 books of the Addicted series, and I've only read 1.5 of Boys of Tommen. But I'm gonna say Johnny and Shannon. I absolutely love them. Even though I'm just on the first book, and then I've only read the first book and I'm on like the second book, I just freaking love Johnny and Shannon to death. And I love Lily and Lo as well, but like I don't know, Johnny and Shannon are just everything, and I don't ever want to stop reading about them. And these are the only 2 books I know that they're getting, so I just love Johnny and Shannon. Live in enemies to lovers or friends to lovers world? I'm gonna say friends to lovers because to me, enemies to lovers only happens in fantasy books. In the real world, most of the time, we're not really enemies. Like something just happens and you don't like each other, and then you may get together like in the real world, but or even in books, like to me, main like romances, like not anything to do with fantasy, but like romances, you're not really enemies, you just dislike each other. Like in the fantasy world, now enemies to lovers is different, but like I said, enemies to lovers just isn't a real world thing. So I would definitely say live in friends to lovers. Would you rather be written by Emily Henry or Jessa Hastings? This is hard because I've read almost all of Emily Henry's books, and I've read the first book of Magnolia Parks, but I absolutely loved it, and I love Jessa's writing, and you can definitely, even though only have read the first book, you can definitely see like her writing or see their writing style. But for me personally, I'd rather be written by Emily Henry, because I don't really know why, but I just love Emily Henry books. They always do something to me, and I absolutely love them all. So that's all I really can say. I don't know how else to like explain it and like say why, but I would rather be written by Emily Henry. I'd rather have your favorite author never write another book again or never reread a book by them. I'm gonna say never reread a book by them, because you're getting more of their content, and it's not like you haven't already read. Like, the reread, you've already read it. You already know what happens. Like, yeah, you would want to reread it, but you already know what happens, and you don't need to reread it. But if you could never read something they wrote again, you'd be sad, because now you see all these people reading this book, and now you can't read it. So I would rather never be able to reread a book, because at least I've already read it and I've experienced it. So next, would you rather secretly love a book everyone hates or secretly hate a book everyone loves? Honestly, I would rather secretly love a book that everybody hates, because I'm not going to secretly hate a book that everybody loves. Like, if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. Like, if I don't like it, I'm probably going to say I didn't like it. Secretly loved a book that everyone hated, that'd be okay, because I love it. Like, that's okay. I'm just going to ignore everybody else. So, yeah. I wouldn't secretly hate a book that everyone loves, because if I don't like it, I'm going to say that I don't like it. But, yeah. Would you rather reread your least favorite book every month or never read your favorite book again? Sadly, I'm going to say I would rather never reread my favorite book again, because like I said, I've already experienced it. I already know what happens. I've already lived it. I've already read every word in the book. So I don't need to reread it. If I had to reread my least favorite book every month, I would never read again. I would scream, cry, throw up, all of the above, because why am I wasting my time rereading a book or reading a book I don't like? Like, no. I feel like that'll put me in a huge book slump, and we don't need that. So I would rather never be able to reread my favorite book, because like I said again, you've already lived it, you've already experienced it, you've already read it, you already know what happens, and that's okay. Would you rather have a friend who loses your books or dog ears them? I'd rather them dog ear it. That doesn't bother me, I do it. But if you lost my book, now I'm either never seeing that book, like I'm never getting that book again, or I have to go and rebuy it. And now I'm spending money I shouldn't be spending. Okay. Would you rather read paperbacks or hardbacks? Paperback. There's just something that I hate about holding a hardback cover, and majority of the time I end up buying it on my Kindle, because I cannot stand to hold the hardcover. It's just not comfortable. Now there are times where the book costs too much on my Kindle, so yeah, I do end up holding it and like just just ignoring that it's a hardback. But yeah, paperbacks all the way. Hardbacks are uncomfortable to hold. So, no. Would you rather read books with long or short chapters? Short chapters. If they're long, more than likely it's going to take me forever to read the book, because I'm unfocused. Like, I'm not focused anymore. After like 5-6 pages, my brain is like tuned out everything else. Like, I'm done reading this chapter. So I'd much rather have short chapters. I'd rather the book be 800 pages long and each chapter be like 5-6 pages. Like, I just can't do long chapters. Like, I check out, like, after so many pages, I check out. And I don't want that, because then I feel like I'm losing content. Would you rather live as yourself in your favorite book or live as your favorite character? I think I'd rather live as myself in my favorite book because I don't want to live as someone else. I don't want to be in the shoes of some of these people, but I would definitely love to be in my favorite book. Just imagine me being in Boys of Tommen series. Just imagine me being in there. This is kind of my personality at the moment, is Binding and Keeping 13, the Boys of Tommen series. Okay, we got 3 more. Would you rather be in the TV adaptation of your favorite book or the fictional world of your favorite book? I will never be an actor ever in my life. I know. So I would rather live in the fictional world of my book because that just sounds a lot better and doesn't sound as scary to me. I could never be an actor ever, so that's an easy answer. Would you rather have your favorite book turn into a show or your favorite show turn into a book? I would rather have my favorite book turn into a TV show because there's not a whole lot of TV shows that I really like that I would want in a book. Like, I'm just okay watching it. But now, like, if the Boys of Tommen series was turned into a movie or a TV show, I'm watching. Okay, last one. Would you rather have to read the last chapter first or never read the last chapter? I would rather read the last chapter first. Like, yeah, that's gonna spoil everything, but maybe not at the same time. Like, you're gonna know how the book ends, but you don't know what happens before all of that. Now, if you were never to be able to read the last chapter, you're never gonna know how that book ends, ever. I would just rather know how it ends. As simple as that. But that is all the would you rather questions I'm going to be doing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Bookish questions, I will leave them all down in the description, so if you guys want to answer them yourself, you can do that, and I will see you guys when I see you.